Today's episode is brought to you by Bush's Fresh Food Market. Calling all foodies, Bush's is hiring. Are you passionate about food, looking for growth, development, and excellent wages? Come grow with Bush's and apply online at bushes.com/join our team. That's Bush's, BUSCHS.com/join our team.
From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Emma Stein with today's Free Press Voice Briefing. It's Monday, April 11th, 2022. The historic Whitmer kidnap plot case has ended with no convictions. 2 of the men were acquitted and walked free, while the other 2, the ringleaders, will be retried because the jury couldn't decide. The jury spent 3 weeks hearing testimony that violent extremists plotted to kidnap the governor out of anger over her COVID-19 restrictions. The jury's decision was a huge blow to the government as it failed to convict the militia members in what some call the largest domestic terrorism case in recent history. Much of the trial rested on evidence and testimony provided by undercover FBI agents and informants. As for why the jury made no convictions, despite the evidence, one criminal defense expert theorized, and I quote, "Jurors don't like the idea of this type of government intrusion where vulnerable individuals are led into criminal conduct by our government."
Reporting for the Detroit Free Press, I'm Miriam Marini. The likelihood of getting financial compensation may be bleak for Detroit residents still suffering the consequences of last summer's flood. Federal data shows that nearly 39,000 households in the city have gotten some money from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, but another 8,000 families are still waiting and 14,000 have already been denied by FEMA. On top of that, there's been no action on more than 40,000 separate damage claims filed with the city's water department or the Great Lakes Water Authority. Both agencies are waiting on an investigation into backups in the sewer system that caused widespread flooding. The city's water department has already predicted that most claims are likely to be denied because the investigation's initial findings blame heavy rainfall as the main cause, despite power failures at pumping stations during the June storm. This has left many Detroiters with limited options, including using their own savings or turning to nonprofits for help. A final report detailing the investigation's findings is expected in April or May, but that likely won't mean much for flood victims.
Hundreds of movie lovers rallied to save the Main Art Theater in Royal Oak this weekend. The popular theater showed independent and indie films for decades before shutting down permanently in June of 2021. Now, it's at risk of being demolished and rebuilt as a 5-story mixed-use development. The rally was hosted by Friends of the Main Art, a nonprofit that was created with the sole purpose of saving this theater. They hope to see the property converted into a nonprofit, community-run, sustainable theater. One protester said, "This is where I fell in love with movies. It's why I fell in love with independent cinema, and it's why I'm in film school now. I want to make movies, and that love came from here."
I'm Andrew Hammond for the Free Press Sports Department. On Sunday, the Detroit Tigers had a chance to take the opening series of the season against the Chicago White Sox. It turned out to be a pretty high-scoring affair at Comerica Park, although it was pretty one-sided and it was the White Sox who did most of the scoring. The White Sox pounded the Tigers 10-1 to take the series and give the Tigers their second straight loss of the season. The beautiful thing about baseball is you can get up the next day and try again. That's what the Tigers are going to do. A rare 5 p.m. start at Comerica Park on a weekday sees the Tigers host the Boston Red Sox in the first of a 3-game series. Michael Wacha makes the start for Boston, while Matt Manning takes the hill for the Detroit Tigers.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. I'll see you tomorrow.